Alright.
Hi everyone, it's Marina here, and we are recording the first episode of our podcast, Our Common Language is Solidarity. And I'm here with my best friend, my mentor of my project, because as you know, I'm a European Solidarity Corps volunteer, and Anita is my project, and she was also a volunteer and European Solidarity Corps volunteer in another country, but she will tell us more about it today in our podcast. Anita, thank you for coming here.
Hi, hello, it's a pleasure. Welcome to everyone.
Anita is so sweet. It looks like a butterfly. Every time it looks like a butterfly when I see her, and it gives me such a positive vibe. And I hope you will also feel this vibe and this energy from her when you listen to her.
Thank you so much. Well, I cannot show you my glitter in the podcast, but I hope you will
she's
feel
full
the
of glitter.
That's the spirit, yeah.
Anita, tell us first about your experience as a European Solidarity Corps volunteer. Where have you been? How was it?
All right.
How are you feeling now that you are coming back in Poland?
All right, so I'm Polish. I come from actually this area around Katowice. And my project was in Italy. And I was actually going also with Bonafides, that's hosting you, Marina.
Mm-hmm.
So with my project, the thing was I was really interested in going to Italy. I love the country. I love the food in there. I'm in love with cheese and tomatoes, so that seemed like a perfect choice for
Yeah.
me. And when I've heard of the project in Turin, I also fell in love with the city because it's close to France, so it has this elegant vibe. It's not southern Italy, so it's not as warm and maybe sunny as some other locations, but I just fell in love with the vibe before even going there. And I was actually right about the place before I even went. I remember I had this wallpaper with some beautiful old-fashioned coffee place. And then when I was in Turin, I was just walking and passing by this place, and I couldn't believe it's really in there because I thought maybe it's an old photo, and it looked amazingly just like on my wallpaper. So it was beautiful to experience it in real life. And the project I was participating was in Institute for Deaf People. And that was also something very fresh, very new for me.
Challenging.
Yeah, of course, because it's not even about learning Italian, which is also new for me. But it was also related with the sign language, and I never learned even Polish sign language, so it was all new, all fresh. That's why I was so interested in doing that.
That's why I said it's challenging, because being a volunteer, it's different for everyone, and not everyone makes the same thing. Everyone makes what is necessary to do as a volunteer. For example, me, as you see, I'm recording this podcast with you, and I maybe I help sometimes some children, etc. I visit universities. Another one makes it something different. But why you choose to go in this kind of institute for deaf people? It was your choice, or?
So I think it was all connected because I've heard of the project. As you said, it was all fresh, all new, but the idea of learning something as fresh and maybe at that point a bit strange for me also the sign language, because it's totally different than the spoken language. So it felt interesting. Also the location seemed nice. So it all somehow, fell into place, let's say. It all seemed just nice and interesting and something fresh also. And the thing is, I was going there after the pandemic. Of course, it was still during the COVID. But it was getting better slowly. And after all this time when I was closed at home, and even with the college, I wasn't able to participate. I think like most of the people who were studying during that time, we only had classes online. I didn't see any other people from university. So this kind of opportunity to be around people and to learn something seemed just amazing.
Yeah, I think the time after COVID-19 was, I think, was kind of the same for everyone. Everyone was trying to find where they belong.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, we had
because
to find
it was like a long time without interaction, without seeing people, without, I don't know, talking or having an activity, and it was kind of reflecting era.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that for sure happened to me. I feel like I was reinventing myself in a way. And I think actually most of us had to somehow change a bit to adapt to the situation. And of course, we also needed something to maybe distract us, or after this period of being closed all the time, we also needed maybe some new interactions, new ways to, to find our way around people and life in general.
I'm not coming as a volunteer personally after COVID-19 era. I have just 3 months here, as you know, in Poland. So I'm just coming after a normal life, 2 years in a normal life, having fun, working in my country and other places, etc. But still, I just choose to be a volunteer, you know, because I've read a lot about this project online, and I was seeing the other people going as a volunteers. They were having fun, they were having good reviews, and I also was listening a lot the importance of giving your time as a young person, like investing. And when you invest in something, it doesn't have to be with what you invest in others. But sometimes when you invest in others, you are also investing in yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was thinking, okay, I will invest my time, 1 year of my time, of my life, but I will take back, you know. So, and you, what do you think you get back from that experience?
Well, I think from it's different when I what I imagined I would get from the project and what I got in fact. That for sure. Because that's also something about European Solidarity Corps project that I would like to maybe make people realize. It can be also like reality check for us, and I think it's actually part of the process. It's natural that you want to go somewhere and you have this vision how it's gonna look like, and then reality it's sometimes completely different, sometimes it's slightly different, but still I would say, it's not possible just to live that dream that you have in your head. It's just natural, it's what happens. Well, maybe a practical example of what I get from the project is that last year I was able to visit my friend in Spain, and that's really amazing connection that we made. That this girl I visited, she was my roommate. So it was also specific kind of relationship, if you understand, because you have to find your way around. When do you take the shower? Maybe two of you want to wake up at the similar time, or one of you is sick and needs some help. We also had some challenges because we had different times. For example, for going to sleep, I go to sleep a bit early, and she needed to study, for example. So she needed the light to be on. I needed some darkness, also some sleep, some calm. So we had to also somehow compromise, find our way to deal with that. So that's something you learn. I think it's not only the activities that you have. My activity was mostly focused on like social media and office work. But to be honest, I would say what you get from the project is mostly around people, the experience, being on your own. You learn how to maybe be on your own and also how to handle some challenges, some situations. But also, of course, if you feel like you're helping someone else, that pays you off in this way, like you just feel satisfaction. You don't need something from the other person in order to feel good. It's just the fact that maybe you gave something to someone, and that's kind of a sparkle that you get from all of this.
So, according to your experience, you are saying that you learned how to connect more with people and maybe how to share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how to share, how to find some solution when maybe each of you has different kind of needs and you somehow have to come up with the solution. Sometimes I also had to learn how to communicate with someone when we had many barriers. Like, for example, I didn't know sign language that much. And some people in the institute only knew sign language and Italian sign language. Mm-hmm. So then, for example, even interacting with these people sometimes required for me to be more creative. Or sometimes, for example, I was writing notes on my phone and then someone was like writing something back. So that was also something. I think it's just... For me, the project was always putting myself in this situation when something is new, something is fresh, maybe something outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's...
Exactly. And when someone is new and someone is fresh, you have to compromise.
Yes.
You have to deal, you have to be patient, you have to share.
Yeah.
And that's all about being a volunteer, and European Solidarity Corps volunteer.
Exactly.
And I think about compromising sometimes it's really important to compromise with yourself before you start this experience. Mm-hmm. And you really think about it. Mm-hmm. And when I say compromise, I mean to reflect on what you want, what you can tolerate, what do you want to do, what do you want to do in your life, for example. What are your limits, because it's all about compromising in this kind of experience, compromising, sharing, tolerating, being patient, dealing with people, but maybe you don't have the same language, and even the same language in talking, but even the same language in seeing your perspectives. So it's really, really important for every young people who is listening and maybe thinks to be a volunteer, and he just knows that how good it is to be a volunteer and to travel and to go in a new country. But first of all, he needs to think about it, and he thinks he needs to know himself, what he wants and what he really wants to get from this kind of project. But it's good. Everyone is saying, yeah, it's for everyone, but I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think it's like, not everything is for everyone. That's why we do different things in our life, and that's okay. And still, that's okay. But but if you want to be happy with something, you have to really think. If you try, it's okay. Maybe you can try and you quit, and because sometimes you don't know what you're doing if you don't try. Sometimes it's also important to try it. But about compromising and sharing and to know yourself, it's really important before starting this project.
Yeah, I think you have to be open to be also surprised many occasions. And I don't know how many of you have the experience of living abroad. For me, actually, this project was the first time I lived abroad. I didn't know anyone there. So for me also, it was sometimes about feeling like an alien, like I'm a stranger. The way I do things, it's just different. And And that feeling can be also overwhelming, or I think you also have to be aware of that. If you come to some other place, it's amazing. It has many benefits and stuff that you don't have at your own home, but you have to also realize it's interesting because it's different, and that means you will go there, and not everything is going to be the way you imagine it. So that's, I think, big part of this kind of projects, being open to be surprised, being open to be, let's say, the
Yeah.
strange one.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, like everything that we do is a surprise. Even when we start a new job, we don't know. We can deal with different colleagues, with different people, with a difficult job. So everything is a surprise. In the end of the day, nothing is easy. You know, like when we take new challenges, we have to know that everything can be a surprise. Nothing is it's easy in this life. You know, and especially when you deal with people and of maybe with stranger, it's even more.
Yeah.
New challenges are always difficult. But what I would like to mention is that in this kind of project, when you go and you work with different people as a volunteer, you are volunteering, you are giving much more of your time and of your energy, you know. And I would like to say that it's quite important to enjoy it in every sense. Even that there are some surprises on the way, you know. Maybe you don't find the right people to talk. Maybe you don't find some friends. Maybe you have to stay alone most of the time. It depends. Not all experiences are the same. But still, if you are enjoying what you're doing, you have to continue doing it. If you are, don't care how much challenging is it. Don't care how much you have to deal with. If you are enjoying what you're doing, just do it. You know, and then if everything is becoming more overwhelming than you expected, okay, then you can think about it seriously. But about surprises, yeah, everywhere are surprises, and we know that, you know. So also, every young people who is listening to this podcast has to be aware that there are surprises, you know. Now of course, it's a European Solidarity Corps volunteer, and you are supported from organization, from your standing organization, from people, etc., mentors, etc. But in the end of the day, you are adult and you are responsible about your activities, your stuff, and how you manage your day and your friendships and your relationship, etc., etc. Right? And we talk how to manage it and how to expect, and how do you think this experience affect in young people, like growing? How can they grow professionally and personally during this experience?
Well, I will say from my experience, I think it might apply to some people. For me, it was all about discovering these new opportunities, new ways I can improve maybe my professional experience, or just get new experiences. For example, I didn't know about even this short projects like Erasmus Plus, where you go for youth exchange or for the training course. So that was something I learned in the organization, because they were organizing those kind of projects, and sometimes I was supporting them, or some group was coming because of that. So that kind of opened my eyes for other chances I might have, because I think those kind of projects, maybe they should be advertised more. I didn't know them before, and I find them to be really life-changing. For me also, my mentor, she was very helpful. She had many resources. She knew about the ways I can develop my career. Like, for example, she recommended to me to apply for United Nations volunteering, that I can do online, or even after doing European Solidarity Corps project, you can go somewhere and do it in there, whatever you prefer, or of course it depends also on the opportunities they have. But because of this, I actually was able to work for organization for migration in Poland, which is United Nations agenda, and I wouldn't have this kind of opportunity if it was not for her and for the project. So I think it can be very practical, but of course it will also give you other skills that you will apply, as you said, even starting a new job. That's also something surprising. It's also a challenge. So I think for young people it's important. For example, if you don't know what to do after college, maybe you go to this kind of project and then it prepares you for your future job. Or maybe, as you also said, sometimes you have to try something to know that this is not for you. And I think this project can also be this for the young people to see, to try something and also discover something about themselves. And that's what I think is the biggest part of learning in this project. Of course, there are some like competencies you will learn just by doing the work, but I think the biggest part is learning about yourself, learning about what you can do, what maybe is not so easy for you to do. You learn about maybe the ways that you can work to be efficient or not. You learn how to operate, how to deal with people, and wherever there is group of people who come from different environments, I think there will be some like challenges, maybe confrontations. So that's also something that prepares you for different situations in life.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree because I have been thinking also the same. Let's say the same. Even when I went as Erasmus student, I was thinking, okay, let's try a new experience because it will help me to know myself and what I want. Because staying in your comfort zone sometimes not so helpful because you, in that way, you think that you know everything and everything is close to you. But challenging makes us feeling adult, even when we are young. But feeling adult, even when we are adult, it's kind of, I don't know, maturing process. And this is a journey that never ends, I think. Even being volunteer or being something else or changing the job, maturing is a process that never ends. And can you tell us, like, you told that it's not easy, and it's not easy. But can you tell us what will you suggest to change, or I don't know, to put more in this project that will be helpful for young people in the future that didn't try it yet, but they will try, even for the project itself? Or what will you suggest as a young person?
Well, I think there are two sides of this. It can be either like person that applies for the project can maybe also like there are some suggestions of things you can do to have the experience better. But of course, the rest also relies on the organization that will host you. And something I think would be very beneficial would be to try to imagine the experience from perspective of the volunteer and make sure that this person is feeling safe, this person is feeling supported, this person will have some opportunities not only to do the activities, but also maybe to support a bit more with integrating, with finding some friends, because it depends also on the project. But some projects are in this like small towns, in these areas which are a bit isolated. So if I was organizing a project in a place like this, first I would make sure, I would try to imagine how this person is supposed to not only do the activities but also have some social life, maybe try to support them, maybe think if they will have some chance to go for some trips. So I think that's also like very important area. because supporting organization is part of it, but the person will spend all of their time in this area, in this town. So helping them to find their way, to find their friends, that's something I think that should also be
Careful.
somehow. Yeah, I think that could be one of the important matters, because I think sometimes we focus on this organizational stuff, but that's also a crucial
Yeah.
area. And of course it also depends on the
Yeah.
person, if the volunteer will have initiative or not, and that's
Yeah.
also important. But I think some of it should also be considered by the organization, just to make sure that the person coming there will feel good in the place where they have the accommodation, and all of this.
Yeah,
should
because
be
in
considered.
the end, the project itself is about volunteering, and the volunteer is in the focus of the project. So
Yeah.
that's quite important to take care about volunteers and about their feelings. And also, I think also it's important to make a difference, because as we mentioned before, not all activities are the same, and they are different from to town or countries to countries, or it depends what the volunteer has chosen to do. For example, you have been caring about deaf people, so, and this is quite challenging and difficult, even for a person who works with them every day and in a professional way. So, and I do something else, which is podcast talking, I don't know, visiting people, etc. So it's different. It's not the same thing. And for you, it's quite more difficult to take care about every day about deaf people. So this is a different, because I'm not feeling so tired. I'm doing easy stuff, you know, just visiting people and talking in this podcast, which is difficult. Yeah, I have to prepare something for the people who are listening it, but it's not the same as being all day with deaf people or with people with special disabilities, you know? So in this case, I think we have to focus more and to try to, I don't know, to make some reforms in how to make this kind of volunteers feeling better, and to give some more free time, or I don't know, to give them some free travel, some free trips, you know, so they can have the chance to have some break, to focus on their self, and not to be overwhelmed of the job and the stuff around them all day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said, like the volunteer should be in the focus.
Yeah.
And what was crucial, I think, for me feeling better in the project was when I finally found some friends in there. But I think it's, of course, different to each project. In mine, it wasn't such a great, like, big city, big town. So it required from me a lot of effort to find friends. It took me months to actually meet some people in the place where I lived and have some connections. So that's why I mention it a lot, because I think it's crucial, it's important to support the volunteers with making some connections, some friendships. Because yes, of course, it relies also on them. The big part is on the volunteer, if they want, if they will put effort, if they will try. But also, if they are trying, they might be struggling with that. So that's something I would really
Good point.
say it's important. Maybe try to organize, because probably there are some other organizations in the area, so maybe organize some meetings so they can meet each other, or try some other ways just to make sure they are not only being part of the organization, but they are also maybe integrating. Maybe they have a chance to feel more local, because otherwise I think, you know, they can really get homesick and feel just lonely.
I really enjoyed this conversation with you, and I hope every young people who will listen to it, it will get a good vibe and will think if he wants to get this experience or not. But in general, we can say that it's a good experience, like, because you have the opportunity to go in a new country, to find the opportunity to travel, to meet new friends, to know yourself. So it has a lot of beneficial. Of course, like everything has its advantages and disadvantages, but that's why we talk today, because we have to think about it carefully and to think about what we want and what we're gonna do in our future and why it's so important, this kind of project for young people. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to talk with you, and I also think it's very important that people who are considering volunteering to have the real image of it, because the projects are amazing, in fact, and it's beautiful that we have the chance to go somewhere, to travel, to experience another culture, and also maybe help in a way. But also it's important that we come prepared, that we come with the more real maybe image of what we are doing. Because for me, I can tell you, I kind of had this idea of Italy I had from vacation. I didn't experience real life in Italy before, and now I understand the difference. I still love Italy, I still love their cheese, and the language is beautiful, but I also understand the reality, and I know it's not always like it seems in the movies.
And that's why this project is called European Solidarity Corps. Like, I think not everyone can be Solidarity Corps, because not everyone can have this kind of ability. Even in our daily life, not everyone has this ability to focus on the others. Some people focus more on their self and their free time and in their business, So solidarity is something special that not everyone has it in itself. So that's why everyone has to be aware of being a solidarity corps and the volunteer.
Yeah,
so thank you, Anita, for your time.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.